And we're back for another episode of Savages Unscripted. We are 30 in, Elias. 30!
Hey, the big 3-0.
You know about the big 3-0. You're basically 30 years old.
Hey, you're catching up shortly. What do you need, like another month before you hit it, right?
Hey, but I don't look a day over 22.
And I don't look a day over 52.
I don't know.
I had the bigger number. Big brain.
So, speaking of bigger right now, you were just complaining about that chair.
Yeah. As I always do, because there's something to complain about.
You can't complain that the chair is small when you're just this bigger man. You're a bear.
I sure can. Who's going to stop me? The complaint police?
You want to sit on the floor?
Not today.
Not today.
Not today.
Another day?
Yeah, because I know if I'm going to sit on the floor, then it's hibernation season.
Not in the studio. We don't do that here. But how are you today, man?
I'm doing good. And yourself?
I survived the week. I'm surviving the month. It's been a tough month.
Has it? Tell me a little bit about it.
You want me to like lay down so I can tell you my problems?
Sure, let me go get the notebook.
All right. I got one right here. But no, dude, it's just been draining like mentally and emotionally, but I'm in there. And like today's February 29th. March is about to start. Wow, it's crazy.
No, I know. I think that the first appearance of Papa Bear happened like 6 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And now the podcast is really starting to take off. We have 30 episodes in.
Let me ask you, are you speaking in third person or are you referring to the character Papa Bear?
Character Papa Bear.
Is that a different persona?
Trying to make it into a different persona.
When you're off the mic, you're Elias, and you think, what is Papa Bear going to say this weekend?
I don't know, but it'd be something just as stupid as Elias, so I'm going to figure that out.
So what is the difference between Papa Bear and Elias? Are there any nuances right there?
Yeah, Papa Bear is like 80.
He's 80.
He's 80.
And what are you, 79?
78.
78. Get it right.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, man, that's crazy. 30 in. Something I want to ask you about. You don't have to spill details, names or anything about that, but you're going to a wedding soon.
Yes, I am. So that wedding is happening within the next 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is this the first wedding like of a close friend of yours?
No. I attended my older sister's wedding, but in terms of non-family related weddings, this probably comes close.
That's pretty big.
Yeah. And the huge kicker of all this, right, is I'd probably be stressing less if the wedding was close by, but it's not.
And there's one big crucial piece of information, what you are in this wedding.
True. One, I'm the best man.
Oh.
And so that's nice to know. And if I'm keeping it as a traditional best man, there's a lot of traditional aspects that I like to follow. Where, from my understanding from my parents, is if you're the best man, you have to pay for the church.
Mm-hmm.
And since I'm not getting married at a traditional church, I paid for the wedding cake, as well as throwing the bachelor party. So I'm currently doing that, as well as preparing a best man speech.
How is that going?
Surprisingly enough, I did some research onto it. And the best man speech, although you do need a lot of time to prep for, isn't the longest thing to do. Realistically, right? The best man speech should be about 2 minutes to 5. It should be something short, sweet, and simple. Congratulating the newlyweds, throwing like maybe a story or a joke about the groom, and thanking those that came by and all those that contribute to the wedding.
I imagine you having like note cards, but like not being fully detailed and writing like insert joke here. 1 minute of this. Is there a PowerPoint?
No PowerPoint. But like when I start out an outline, that's what it is. And then as I start thinking about the jokes, then I'll start writing it out.
All you have to do is just YouTube Ted Mosby best man speech, because there's quite a bit of those. He gives quite a bit of speeches in How I Met Your Mother.
And then what? Get a spoiler for How I Met Your Mother?
True. Who would do that for you, right?
Yeah, geez, I wonder who. Certainly not Stallion. Stallion's amazing boss, but Hector, on the other hand.
So the persona is the boss?
See, we're tying this all together like a knot of friendship that you can find out in the words where Papa Bear lives.
So, all right, so let me ask you that, because you said Stallion is the good boss. The other day, I think I sent her like some words of encouragement, and Beatrice sent me a photo of Michael Scott's his mug, World's Greatest Boss, World's Best Boss, and she said, "I'm gonna get this for you." So is that for Stallion? It's not for Hector.
No,
fuck you, Hector. This is for the Stallion.
This is for the Stallion, exactly. I'm gonna make sure that mug has the word Stallion written on the backside of it.
I'm gonna drink coffee one morning. You're gonna be like, "That's not yours. Put it back."
And as soon as we step through the studio doors, hey, look, there you are, Stallion. Where have you been?
I can only drink it right here when we're recording. You're going to bring me a cup of coffee one day because you're the intern and be like, hey, here, Stallion.
Stallion. I'm going to get the same mug for Papa Chulo.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is he your boss?
He's my one and only boss. Shout out to you, Papa Chulo. I'm still waiting for you.
So what's funny about the How Much Your Mother thing, I'm surprised it hasn't been brought up, because we talk about that a lot off the podcast, but I don't think we've mentioned How Much Your Mother on the podcast, and that's probably what it is. So, we have a group of friends, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody...
Jesus. We have friends?
Everybody watches How I Met Your Mother. And for years, everybody has referenced it, mentioned it, talked about it, and for years, Eli's just the one person that has never watched it. But everyone tells him, watch this show, watch this show, watch this show. Until a few months ago, he was like, you know what? I might consider watching it. But then you weren't watching it. So one day we were at Blackbird Diner. I remember that in particular. And I remember we asked you, are you even going to watch this? Because we were getting into a How Much Your Mother conversation. You're like, probably not. So we were like, okay, so it's safe to do spoilers. That next week, you started watching it. And some major spoilers were dropped. So it's not my fault that you spent...
I totally can blame you
5 or 6 years, like, just waiting until you got the spoilers.
Oh, yeah? Well, tell me this. Have you watched Casablanca yet?
I have, yeah.
Have you?
That's like, it's like saying, Dumbledore dies, I should watch Harry Potter.
You see, I'm not trying to drop these spoilers because I'm not an asshole like Hector is.
So I don't do spoilers. Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's father.
Just ramble off the next couple of spoilers from here right now.
I think we talked about spoilers. What was your major spoiler that you've gotten?
That eventually Robin will cheat on Marshall.
Robin?
No, sorry.
Lily.
Lily, thank you. Yeah, sorry.
And what's funny about that is he got the spoiler. And I don't think you knew the characters. Mm-hmm. You probably didn't know who these people were. And then Elias started watching it. And a few episodes in, he told me, I love Marshall. If anything happens to him, Hector, I'm going to hurt you.
I'm blaming you for his
No,
problem.
he specifically said, if I see any tears on his face, I'm going to hurt you. And then,
I don't want to see my boy cry, damn it.
And then Elias got more and more into Marshall. And I can see you guys a bit of the same person in some ways. That's what's funny. I've been telling you that as well. And then you got more into Marshall. And I think we all started... I never really liked Lily. And I think you probably didn't either.
Fuck no.
And then something happened, and I remember you looked at me, and you're like, I said I was going to hurt you. you went in knowing.
Yeah, that's still going to happen. Don't be surprised if out of nowhere you get hit by a water balloon one day.
Bring it on.
Bring it on.
I've been hit by other things in the studio. That wasn't a joke about her. No, I was.
I'm not making the connection there. Clearly, you are. No. You're probably.
Oh man, I was
projecting some insecurities out there and into this conversation that I don't think you're quite ready for.
Back to best man speeches. So you told me you've been stressing out a lot over this best man thing. And it's funny because there was one day, I'm not laughing at the fact you were stressed, it's just the idea of you seem so stressed, but this isn't your wedding.
Yeah.
And I saw like the frustration on your face. I'm like, God damn, Elias, you're not getting married. Why are you stressing out so much? But it seems to be a lot of work. It's
a lot of work because my history with weddings, there's usually some baggage that ends up coming out instead of wedding. And that's what stresses me out. Because it's like, okay, I get revealed some sort of information about the wedding where it's like, oh shit, well, how are we going to work around that? And as we're still brainstorming a solution to that said problem, 5 different problems suddenly appear out of nowhere.
Man.
Well, it's just like, are you shitting me? This isn't the time to start bringing this up. This should have been brought up months ago. And it's like, when I want to do an event, I'll put in my all into it, but I need time and preparation. Mm-hmm. And I need it done. Not necessarily exactly the way I envisioned it, because I know something's still going to change. It's bound to change. But at the very least, don't bring up something unexpected out of nowhere.
Do you think it's that idea when people want something to be perfect? Like, it has to be perfect, when those little disappointments just cause a big uproar?
Possibly, but I don't think it's the case in this one. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's my case in particular.
Yeah.
Because I understand it's not my wedding. I didn't choose, what the theme was. I didn't choose the date or the timing. All that I accepted. I moved on from that. But it's like, when I'm now trying to complete my portion into it, there's then a new blockade where it's like, okay, I'm trying to complete it on my terms, but clearly this isn't happening. And I can't complete it any other day. Mm-hmm. And it's just more so getting the frustration of said blockage. Mm-hmm. That's what stresses me out.
But on a brighter note, the idea of being asked to be someone's best man, that's got to mean a lot.
It does.
Because, most people just have, at this point in your life, when you're getting married, you've had so many friends, so many people in your life, so many acquaintances, so many people that affect you in different ways, but you got asked to be the best man. No. That seems to be very special.
To me, it is very much so. And I knew that I was going to be the best man prior to him even dating his girlfriend.
Did you ask yourself to be his best man?
No. And it's like, our friendship has lasted well over 10 or nearly 10 years now. And it's like, we bonded since then. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I knew this was going to be a day that would come. Mm-hmm. I just didn't think it was going to happen so soon.
And what's funny is you told me, after this, I do not want to be a best man again.
No.
And because of that, I want you to be my best man. Just because of that.
And it's like, I'll organize a great bachelor party and I'll put in all my work into it. I just don't want to be responsible for it. I'd rather enjoy the wedding, be like, cool, not my issue, not my problem.
You just want to show up and not plan stuff.
Exactly. That's what I don't want to do.
Do you remember on New Year's when I told you, I know I had a little bit of wine, but that was out of my system. That was out of my system, though. But we had a moment. Mm-hmm. Yes, do you know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly which moment.
But what's funny is,
I'm so adamant about this. I'm rooting for the other four guys now.
All right, so let me give context for those listening. So New Year's, I think I talked about it. We had a very small thing. Mm-hmm. Like, I was invited to a party, but I didn't want to do that. So instead, we had a very small thing. It was just us, like 3 or 4 of us. And we just had a bottle of wine. We were playing Mario Party. That's it. And we were just talking. Uh-huh. And there was a point in the day, the night, when it was getting later, and it was just 3 of us, you, me, and Beatrice. So we were just talking about, like, our goals, and we were having these deep conversations with each other. And I told you at some point, and I was sober. I was completely sober. And I told you, Elias, I feel like we've gone through so much in these past couple months. I want you to know I would consider you to be my best man. I would consider.
Yes, you did. And honestly, I was really touched by that because I didn't think I was going to get put on that list of yours. I was hoping at the very least I'd get to attend said wedding. That's all I really asked. I just didn't think I would be put in that position.
And what's funny is I remember your reaction. You were like, "Oh, Hector," and she was sitting right there with us. And I remember she looked at us like we're weird. And I remember telling her, like, you just don't understand. This is a deep thing for a guy. Like, this says so much.
The whole idea of being somebody else's best man is probably one of the greatest feelings you can get being a man. I guess that's a connection that only 2 people can really share. And it's like you're trusting them to organize a third of that said wedding and making sure that the groom is having the time of his life before the wedding.
It's one of man's greatest experiences. Like, I had 2 kids, but I was asked to be a best man. Damn it. That's my highlight. And I think I've told you, because the thing about me is, like, I have a lot of close friends. Mm-hmm. And I literally have, like, a list of guys that I'm really, really close to. Like, really close to. And a few of them they told me they want to be my best man. I'm like, dude, I'm not even talking to anybody right now. Like, you're jumping the gun. We're skipping the steps here. Help me find somebody, and we'll get to that point eventually. And so I have a little list. I told you I have my top 5.
Yes,
This is a literal thing. This is something I do. I have an actual list, ladies and gentlemen, of my top 5 guy friends that I would want to be my best man.
In fact, I see it right here. Why is Barney listed as one of them?
Anyways, so I told Elias he was breaching into that 5th spot. And I have some other people there. And something I've joked about is if I can't decide, I'm going to have a fight.
You're just going to have a fight? Like a bar fight to see whoever comes out on top is the best man in that case?
To the death.
I'm going to be the one asshole that just steps out of the ring. All right, I'm good.
I've already been the best man. I'm set.
Oh, God. I can see it now. More people will be like, hey, Elias, you want to be my best man? Just to spite me in this episode.
I'm going to throw in a weapon. If you could use
weapon.
any item in this studio right now that you see, what would you use as a weapon?
Oh, I know exactly what.
What would you use?
Your guitar, your electric guitar.
My electric guitar. Oh, man, you're going to hurt
exactly.
somebody.
A, I'm going to hurt someone. I'm hurting 2 people in this scenario. The person I'm actually using against, and 2, Hector.
Yeah, I feel like you would hurt me because I asked you to be a best man and because of Marshall.
You remember what happened to Marshall in episode 26 of season 2? I sure didn't. And I just start going all out.
Oh my gosh, you're going to hurt me. You'd be like, oh, but congratulations, Hector.
Yeah, always congrats. I'm really happy for you.
Oh man, that's... And I'm not kidding about that fight. I've considered that. But anyways, moving on. So a little bit of a morbid topic, but something that's been plaguing the news everywhere. And I don't think I've talked to you about it. Is just what's happening with the coronavirus.
Right. I know we have a case here in California, but I think that's in Santa Clara.
Actually, as of today, we just had the first death in the U.S.
The first death of coronavirus.
In Washington, Seattle.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It was an older man, and he just passed away. I was looking into this, and just a few hours ago, they confirmed it.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, and I know, flights and just a lot of different things are being affected. I was talking to Jesse, who's really into Overwatch. And the Overwatch League, we've talked about that a bit with him. Mm-hmm. And I asked him, hey, it's the weekend. Are you going to watch any games? Because he's really into Overwatch. And he was telling me about, he's going to watch the games today. Or, this weekend. And he told me very soon they actually canceled 2 or 3 weeks worth of games because of,
the whole incident's going around.
Exactly.
On top of that, from what I understand, even cruises just around the world have slowed down and stopped. Mm-hmm. Just because this is, as I understand it, something that's easily transmitted through another person, but more so like the flu and the cold.
Yeah. I have a friend, and she posted this, and this kind of made me sad. So about a year ago, maybe even a few months ago, she just had twins. Mm-hmm. And her family lives in Boston. And I think her dad owns a restaurant or something. Uh-huh. And her dad hasn't met the kids yet. So she wanted to fly both her twins there, to her dad's restaurant, introduce them and just spend time together. Mm-hmm. I guess there was a case in LAX, so no infants were allowed there. They're strongly advising against it. So now she had to cancel that trip that she was looking forward to for next week, taking her twins to see their grandfather. Wow. And I was like, that's very sad. And it's just crazy how this is affecting things. And something I talk about with Al, not necessarily with you, but in the beginning, a lot of people, especially here in the U.S., were making fun of this whole situation. There was a shit ton of memes about the coronavirus. And the thing is, I think at times we think we're so, some things don't affect us. Mm-hmm. And that's why we joke around a lot. And I remember in the beginning, some people were saying oh, I'm not going to joke around, but most people were like, it's just a meme, take it easy.
I think what it is, it's a lot of people's coping mechanism, where I think they do realize the threat of said virus, but I don't think the only way they can really process it is by making a joke out of it.
Yeah. So then what's sad is once that hits somebody you're close to, that's when it just boom. All right, humor's over.
Right.
Actually, onto a more funnier news. Corona just put out a statement.
The beer company, Corona.
Yeah, so they just put out a statement letting people know they have nothing to do with coronavirus. They felt the need to do this.
Yeah, honestly, I've been hearing that same joke with my coworkers. Like, hey, did you drink any Corona over the weekend? I'm like, no, why? Oh, I've been hearing from family and friends of mine that you can get the coronavirus through Corona. And all you need is some, what do they call it? Lyme virus to cure it. I'm just like, oh, God, why?
Yeah, so Corona confirmed, like, as if they needed to do that. This is an actual news source. And they confirmed, hey, we have nothing to do with the coronavirus. And I guess they had a very, they put out a tweet. I'm not sure when, but I'm not sure if they meant it with humor or they just did not see the implication of what it sounded like. But they were talking about, oh, coming ashore soon. And people have been losing their shit over that. But as to the cure thing, so Amazon just banned a ton of fake coronavirus cures from their site.
Really?
Which brings the question, why were they even allowed on the site?
In all fairness, I want to know, A, who's been making them, and B, like, why did they think it was going to work on Amazon?
I guess they had some sort of, like, different pills, some vitamin D pills as well, supplements, and some items that they said would cure coronavirus. And people were already publishing books on, oh, your guide to solving this issue. There is no solution for this right now.
Yeah, like, as I understand, they're still currently working on a vaccine for it.
Yeah. And on top of that, there's also, like, kits and stuff with dealing with the coronavirus. But what's very interesting is just they're being overly priced. Yeah. So I was looking earlier, and there's surgical masks. $170.
I've been hearing about that.
So I was reading this news article that there's some surgical masks that you can get for $187 essentially, or you can go to an alternate seller for $40. And these masks at some point before this whole craze were just less than $10. Now to $187. So Amazon's pulling all this stuff now. And it's just like the idea that this was even there at some point. You know, the fact that this had to get banned.
Right. Well, people will do almost about anything to make that buck, knowing that people are going to want it. Mm-hmm. But that's I guess the whole concept of capitalism, you know? Yeah.
We talked about Reddit a little bit, but have you heard of Not the Onion?
Yes, you tell me about them every time you see an article about them.
Love it. So for those that don't know, The Onion, if you see an article by The Onion, don't believe it. It's a satirical website, and they have some funny stuff on there. It's just poking fun at. It's all bullshit. But on Reddit, there's a subreddit called Not the Onion. And these are essentially news articles that they sound so absurd, you would think, that's fake, that's bullshit. But no, they're real.
Oh, no.
So
what's today's article about?
No, so one I've always been wanting to talk about, and I always forgot. I might have told you about this, but a few months ago, there was this lady, and she had 2 kids.
Right.
And she went to go rob at some store. She forgot one of her kids. I think she took like some expensive like baby carrier or something, and she forgot her kid. And then like I guess she had left, and she came back to get the kid, and she got arrested
for leaving the kid.
No, because she took the stroller. It was like some expensive stroller.
Oh, like she stole? Oh,
yeah,
gotcha.
She stole some items, forgot her kid. No, but hear this one though. So there is this guy, and he just got charged. I guess this happened just a few months ago. So he broke into a home.
Right.
Decided he was stealing some stuff, but he decided halfway through, you know what? I could use a snack. He pulled a Red Bull from the pantry, made himself a Pop-Tart. He was just eating it, took a shower.
What?
And he got arrested.
What? Why would you do that?
I think he was like stealing like some technology and like iPhones and stuff and some money. But the fact that a Pop-Tart and a Red Bull, okay, if you broke into a home, make a meal. Make yourself some chicken. Come on. Pop-Tart.
Wow, can't believe that happened.
That happened. And he decided to take a shower. Like, you know what? I feel really bad about what I'm doing. I feel really dirty. I could use a shower.
Jeez, I can't believe that really happened. I don't know what's worse. That or you thinking that Pam is not a redhead?
Pam is not a redhead.
Pam is a redhead.
Are we bringing this up again?
Yes, we are.
Okay, I'm like 90% sure. There's like a very strong chance you're saying that to side against me.
I'm not saying it to side against you. This is the 1% chance.
You just want to be on her side so I can get my ass kicked.
No, I'm going to have her kick your ass regardless of which side. Even if I did agree that Pam is not a redhead, in this case, I strongly believe that Pam is a redhead.
For those that don't know what we're talking about. And
I got it. For those of you that don't know what we're talking about, in last week's episode 29, The Learning Curve, Hector decided to make a bold statement and say that Pam is not a redhead.
No, Beatrice made a bold statement saying she is a redhead.
No. That's just a matter of fact. The bold statement was that Pam is not a redhead.
All right, you know what, Elias? I have a dictionary here. I'm going to show you what a fact is.
Yeah.
All right, because apparently you're into alternate facts as well.
And if you look up in that dictionary right now, you're going to see under redhead, Pam from The Office.
What's funny is, when it comes to statements, like bold statements, or when someone says something and there's a debate, the wording matters. Mm-hmm. When I was Googling and I was looking up Pam's name, Beatrice was like, why don't you just look up the actress? And I was like, we're not talking about the actress being a redhead. We're talking about Pam being a redhead. I don't care if she's a redhead on her off time. She's not a redhead. Are you looking up? I looked up articles.
I'm actually looking this up.
I was on the Office wiki. I was looking at YouTube episodes. There was one episode you brought up and you told me, remember when so-and-so said about something about the redhead? No, I looked that episode up and they were referring to, what's her face? Karen. I did my research. I read scholarly articles, Elias.
Prove them. I want to see citations.
I'll cite it for you. What kind of citations do you want?
I want all of them.
I'll get you all of them. I'll look for a thesis on it. I'm sure someone's written it. Pam is not a redhead. There's a hashtag going around. There is on Instagram. It's called Pam is not a redhead. I might have started it. But nonetheless, it's a thing.
I'm looking this hashtag up. Pam.
I guess you can say I'm a redhead too, right? Because apparently brunettes are redheads. Yeah, exactly, Elias. You have nothing to say.
No, it's because I'm so entrenched with this. See, look at that. Doesn't exist, Hector.
Not yet. You probably need one more hashtag for it to become trending.
Doesn't exist. You know why? Because Pam does have red hair.
If you guys think, or you know what, let us know. Tweet us. Some of you guys have my number. Text me. Message us. DM us. Is Pam a redhead? I'm talking about Pam Beasley, not Pamela Anderson or anybody else. No other Pam. I'm talking about Pam Beasley from The Office. Is she a redhead? No, she's not.
Yes, she is.
What's funny is immediately Jesse was telling me, she's not a redhead. Yeah. And he was talking to Dory as well. Dory chimed in too.
And the whole kicker was, as soon as I got back from work that same day that you guys finished up the episode, you looked at me thinking, oh, he's going to agree with me because it's so true. This one lie that I have is so true.
Oh my gosh.
And as soon as I looked at you, I'm like, no, she's not a redhead. I mean, she is a redhead.
But your vote's worth like half a vote, though.
How's my vote worth half a vote? If anything, it's worth 2 because I'm twice the man.
You're an intern.
So that just knocks it back down to a vote.
And
you see, I know math.
and Beatrice hasn't passed her probationary period, so she's half a vote as well. So, you know what? That's one vote of Pam as a redhead against 3 of us.
That's fine, because right now when the fans decide, that's what it's going to be all over.
And here's the thing, too. You and Beatrice fuck around a lot. Jesse is an honest man. Probably the most honest out of all of us in Savages Unscripted. So he's worth 3 votes.
I believe he's honest. I believe that we all share one vote. I think you guys are just wrong in this case.
Wrong in this case.
Yeah, I truly do believe that. For Pam is clearly a redhead.
I did I will show you my search history. Like, no, I don't want to show you my search history.
I don't want to know what kind of dirty crap you're looking up there, Hector.
No, so what's funny is
just get into the Office territories, Pam Beasley.
You know, like whenever you go to the actual search engine for Google, it shows you like your last couple searches. I totally forgot I was looking that stuff up. I'm pertaining to the redhead thing. And I do these things whenever I listen to a podcast, and if anyone mentions something that I don't know about and I'm curious, I always look it up. So I was doing that yesterday, and I saw like 6 searches for Pam is not a redhead, and I was like, oh yeah, that happened.
You see, you had to do 6 searches. I just had to do 1, and I found everything that I need.
I did 6 searches because apparently Bing wasn't enough. So I looked up on Yahoo, Google. I went to Reddit. All right, I was doing my research. That's the point. Because Beatrice kept telling me, she's a redhead, she's a redhead. I'm like, repeating yourself does not make this a fact. I did research.
I did research too, and it also shows that Pam's a redhead.
Is this the first debate on Savages Unscripted?
Very well could be. Over for
Al has brought up politics and stuff and those bolder statements, but it's the redhead thing that's going to become this debate.
Her redhead fuels my, I guess, determination in this debate.
And I asked my sister, so she's worth a quarter vote because of what she said. And she told me, I sent her a photo because she doesn't watch The Office. I told her, is Pam a redhead? And I sent her a few photos.
Wait, photo them up. I need to see these photos.
Okay, I sent her a few photos just so she can know who the character is. And like she did a search as well. And she told me, she looks blonde and she looks like a redhead and she looks brunette. And I'm like, she can be one of those. Which one is she? And Daisy was like, I don't know. I was like, all right, quarter vote.
I'm telling you, Daisy still has a vote, even if she decides to choose the 2 wrong answers.
What?
Yeah, because there's only one right answer, and that's that she's a redhead.
I don't know if I want to put you down on the best man list or I want to put you up out of spite. You're number 2.
I didn't even think about it in that kind of context. I'm just going to leave a sign right now. Hey, you want me to be the best man? Expect a 2-minute speech on how Pam Beasley's a redhead.
No, I want a 10-minute speech. I want it well-structured. I want a PowerPoint, laser pointer. I want it all.
I'm bringing graphs and diagrams where you put the little scenery in a box. You know which ones I'm talking about?
No.
Dioramas? No.
Diorama. What do you think?
I think so. Where you recreate a scene in a box.
Yeah.
Yeah, diorama. Okay. A diorama of how Pam Beasley's a redhead.
Is that what my best man speech is going to be?
Yeah.
All right, you know what?
That's all it is. I'm not even going to mention how you got married that day. I'm going to be continuing on long after you guys have been married.
Like 4 seconds? Yeah, Hector's great.
Hector's alright. But Pam is a redhead.
I remember... Oh, you're right. So you're going to be the best man, but you're not getting a speech. There we go.
You're going to stop me.
You get the responsibilities. You're not getting the speech. You get no publicity. Nothing public. All right. But funny.
I organize the events.
So I've been going on about this list literally for a few years already. Like, this has been a legit thing. I just told you about it, though. And Al and I were really close. And there was a point where, we're getting really close. I told him about this list. And he's one of the main people that got really invested in this list. And he wants to go up there in the list. And what's funny is I would fuck around with him intentionally. Because he knows I know a lot of people. And one day, he would bring up, he'd be like, hey, your best man list, where am I on it? And I told him, you're number 11. He was like, dude, I live with you. I'm number 11. I was like, yeah. And I told him, this pissed him off too. Oh, I even have a few girls above you too. And he was like, what? I would just fuck around with him. He's like
Al,
a good 5 or 6.
If you want to be on that set list and surpass me, just say that Pam's not a redhead. And that Hector's beautiful and brave and is an amazing guitar player.
I'm beautiful and brave. Did I tell you about the review?
What review?
Savages Unscripted?
Yes, you did. You screenshotted the thing.
Let me
look. I may have done some dumb crap on this podcast.
It's not dumb.
I may have done some questionable things, but I'm, for one, not narcissistic.
I am not narcissistic.
I will never save what he saved.
I didn't save it.
You took a screenshot of it.
Let me explain, because there's just a lot of meaningless, no context yelling right here. So let me preface with, I was having a tough month.
Understandable. Understandable.
I had a very hard month, and the other day, so I told lies because I was going through this weird training period, and I didn't want to do any new projects. That's why a lot of stuff we talk about, we haven't been doing it. Right. It's more so, let's do what we have right now. You're busy with this best man thing.
Exactly. So I'm actually kind of surprised I had time for this podcast.
Yeah, we'll be finishing in a bit. I'll probably add another segment. I know my sister's coming tomorrow.
How long is this episode so far?
It's already 35 minutes.
You know how Beatrice has the longest episode?
Yeah.
I want the shortest episode.
You have the shortest episode.
I want a shorter episode.
You already have the shortest episode. So you want a shorter one than that one?
Yes. Just so that way I can give a rest day to that guy that listens to the podcast.
Is episode 31 going to be Pam is not a redhead? Oh, you guys have a nice week. We hope you guys have a nice week.
Y'all waited an entire week for this one episode.
I'm going to beep out... No. I'm gonna insert not a redhead.
Not a redhead.
I'm gonna stretch out your So anyway, so the other day, because I know when I told you this, when I listen to podcasts, and I've been listening to a lot of it, I listen to Google Podcast and Spotify.
Right.
But those don't allow you to really review or rate podcasts.
Right.
And I know a few other ones do. So I was like, you know what? Has anyone been reviewing us? So I was looking around different other podcast platforms, and I went to Apple Podcasts. I hope this isn't someone I know fucking around. I want it to be genuine and real.
I honestly think it is genuine.
I really hope so. Because that one... Okay, in retrospect though, that means other people are listening to us. Not just people that know us. Yeah. Which is great too, but I want to know that we're... other people are listening to us as well.
The horse is being heard out there.
The stallion.
The stallion horse is being heard.
So anyways...
Yeah, now you like that name, don't you?
I'm going to start using it 30 episodes and I like my name. Alright, so let me
You
explain.
should, because that's what the community voted on.
It's been 3 minutes of jokes and I still haven't told the story. So anyways, on Apple Podcasts, there's a comment and a review about us. 5 stars. This is just posted 2.5 weeks ago. And somebody said, quote unquote, or do you want to read it? Read it.
From February 11th, 2020.
Don't read the name. Let's give him privacy.
Oh my god, the stallion is so cute. These guys are hilarious, man. ONG.
Ah.
That's exactly what she sounds like to me. Or he.
That's what she sounds like?
Or he. I'm not going to be biased on the gender here.
So I read that review and it just made my day. I haven't received a compliment in a while.
What are you talking about? We compliment you every day here.
I want to be called cute too.
I don't know about that part.
I want to be called cute by someone that isn't my mom or my tia, on Facebook.
That you're so cute.
Aw, mijo.
The next time I ever call you that, I'm going to put on my tia voice and just start pinching your cheeks.
Oh, no, don't do that. So anyway, I saw this comment. It just really made me feel good. Like I said, the idea that in retrospect, other people are listening to us and they like us. And I'm cute. But anyway. So I
that the last part too. And I'm cute.
So I told Elias I was going to screenshot it, but I didn't. So it's still just on my browser. I just never closed it. So
I've screenshot it, but it is certainly on my browser that I'm not going to delete.
I saved the page. But I like the idea that other people are listening.
Yeah, honestly, it is a very nice thing to know that it is being reached out there. Someone else is listening.
Because I think it's easier for a friend to listen to this because they know us and they know these stories. They know how we are. Exactly. It's like, I haven't seen this person. Maybe like Aime or somebody. Like, I haven't seen these guys in a while. It's like I'm there with them. I'm listening.
Right.
But if it's someone else that doesn't know us, we're just these weirdos that are talking about these random conversations. Why do they care? But they're listening and they're entertained. To me, I was like, wow, that's big.
That means we're doing a job in this case.
We're entertaining. Let me just say this comment was not there when Al was this. So I think when I took over, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not a narcissist.
I'm like, I love you, Papa Chulo. I'm not going to say some shit like Hector is.
Nah, he'll be back soon. But this episode will be a little short, but there's one thing I wanted to say before we get off. And this might be a little bit of a deep sentiment, nothing dark or anything like that. Not on par with the coronavirus. So I listened to a podcast yesterday. And so this too, the podcast I listen to is more so the ones that influence me. And more so in terms of this podcast and the products that we're doing. And one of the big ones that I told you about, besides, John Green and what he does, is Rooster Teeth. And I've loved their stuff since I was young, Rever's Blue. But I'm catching up on their podcast. So as of right now, I'm in their 2013 podcast. And they were talking about reaching out to people that have helped you. Maybe people you haven't heard from in a while. And one of the founders of Rooster Teeth, Bertie Burns, he had a little monologue and he was saying that a few years prior to that, there was this man that helped them direct a season of Rivers Bloom. And this guy had a huge impact on them. And he was like, you know what? How is this guy doing? And he found out that he passed away.
Really?
2 years before. And this guy that had this huge impact on them, they didn't know he passed away.
Oh, wow.
And he was saying that, in retrospect, that guy, he probably directed so much other stuff. In his final moments, right before he died, he probably wasn't thinking of Rooster Teeth or Rivers Blue. Maybe there's a bunch of other stuff that have happened. But to them, to Rooster Teeth, the impact that he did changed them. Mm-hmm. And this just got me thinking of the idea that we might make an impact in other lives even when we don't think about it. Mm-hmm. I think at times we might think like, oh, I met this person, like whatever. But maybe to them, like, we made a bigger impact. And that's something we're never going to know. And that's scary and that's kind of sad, but it's also kind of beautiful.
It's hopeful.
Yeah, it's hopeful.
It's amazing, really, knowing that you can have that effect on someone.
And that just really puts you into perspective, too, of watching how you say things and what you say, what you do around people. Like, you might be influencing people. Perfect example is that poster right here in the studio. And I remember for a while... Also, let me explain. So I was working with kids a while ago, for those that don't know. And there was a point where I just wasn't sure if I was making an impact on people. And when I quit this job, they actually made this poster for me. And like the whole staff and all these kids wrote on it. And they were like, that they're going to miss me and all this stuff. And I just realized, like, I've seen people come and go in that job. They never did that for anybody else, but they did that for me. And that just made me realize, like, I made that impact that I didn't know about. And sometimes you just don't know when you're making it until like later, when you're already gone and that chapter's in the past. And that's just crazy how life works. Yeah.
Right.
This just got me also thinking, like, I'm grateful for you guys. You, Beatrice, Daisy, Al, like, I feel at times like this project, I know I have all these ideas, but it must be hard coming to help these ideas when you guys don't see them the way I do. I know now you're starting to see them a little bit more, but I'm like, damn, like, I might have sounded like this crazy ass person that like, let's do this, but they're supporting this and now they're a part of this. Mm-hmm. And like, I was like, wow, like, these guys are something else. And you guys are some of my favorite people.
Aww.
Yeah. So you're number 2 on the top 5.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, well, that's just something I wanted to say.
Son of a bitch. Pam's a redhead. You're ugly and stupid.
So, before we cap off, I don't want to wait for Thanksgiving to be thankful for stuff or people. What is something that you're really thankful for that you don't really think about?
That's a very good question.
It could be something small or something that, like I said, you just don't really think about, but does make an impact.
I think I'm grateful for still being here another day. Mm-hmm. And it's something I don't think about, because in my head, I'm always thinking, oh, I'm fine, I'm still here. Granted, some things may be going on, but it's like, I'm still here another day. And I think that's what I'm thankful for, is knowing that I'm still here. I'm not necessarily going to know if I'm going to make it to the next day, but I just know that I'm grateful for today. Because realistically, today's the only day you have, so why not just make the most of it? Yeah, and the next day isn't guaranteed. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but like I said, and it's like, I'm not trying to be morbid about it. It's just something I know it's real. I'm grateful for. Mm-hmm. It's something that I thank God every day about. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I said, I'm thankful for my team and my friends. Mm-hmm. Beatrice ruins illusion. People not know you're my roommate. So, hey, we could have kept this up, right? I know I could have beeped it out, but we now have just made B into this insane person of a character. How she's always just spewing out these false facts, like that Pam's redhead. That Pam is a redhead. Insane facts. But I just want to say publicly here, Beatrice and Daisy, Al, you guys aren't here, but I am thankful for all you guys, Jesse, and those that are listening. You guys give us a reason to make these episodes. I think at the end of the day, we would do this no matter what, but it gives us more of a reason. If people are listening and they're laughing and people are commenting that the Stanley is cute. But it gives us more of a reason. It makes you more hopeful.
And I like that. We do want to impact other people's lives. And let me just say, listeners, don't wait for Thanksgiving. Look and reflect on what you're thankful for, on the things that are impacting you, or maybe the people that you might be impacting. And you're never going to be 100% certain of who you're impacting, but you're making a difference somehow. But is there anything you'd like to say before we cap off, Elias? Episode 30. We leave this in the past.
To those that are still listening, I wish you all the best of week. You're a lot stronger than you may think you are. And we wish nothing but the best for you.
Always, we're rooting for you guys. And with that, episode 30 is a thing of the past. Goodbye, you guys.